Give up. Give up. Give up is just as simple as that. It's probably the thought that you keep having in your head. It's just easier to give up. It's just easier to like set aside those goals that you have for later because they'll wait. They'll be there for you later. There are more important things to do now. And then later becomes 1 year, 5 years, a decade. And then you realize, I haven't done it. And that's what really haunts you. So this is a different kind of video. For those of you who've been following my account for a while, you guys would know that back in the day, I used to have a show called Up Close and Personal, where I kind of talked more about like internal struggles that I was having at the time, like just ramble off on like things that I was feeling about in a very comedic way. I kind of wanted to bring that back, but just in more of a raw kind of feel. So if this doesn't feel, I guess, as quick or as engaging as it should be, this is just more or less me just kind of talking about what I'm feeling, how I deal with things. I want this to feel a little bit more authentic to myself. That way I'm giving you guys something that maybe will help you. And before we begin, I just want to make this clear. This is not a cry for help. Despite anything I might say, this is just more or less me trying to like be honest so I can communicate what I'm feeling clearly. But just for the record, I'm fine. I'm always chilling. I'm shady old fucking Miley. But just wanted to make that clear that, you know, even despite like, I guess what people might see in me, I have struggles. I have a lot of struggles, and I think that's normal for everybody. So I wrote down a few questions for myself. Let's just get right into this. So the whole point of this video is just kind of talk about like the struggles of feeling lost in your 20s. So at the time of recording this is July 1st, 2024. I'm also 25. God. I am 25. I am in the middle of my 20s. I'm in the prime of my life, and I feel absolutely nothing. Not a sense of euphoria, not a sense of worry, not a sense of dread, just nothing. And that's weird, you know? Because only a few years ago, especially in like anything with the word teen in my age, I felt a lot of things. I felt sad, I felt happy, this is that. But as time went on, feelings started becoming a lot more like muddled and like very hard to communicate, and this is that. And it's weird what like age and experience does to you as time goes on, because eventually you do find yourself just kind of like finding yourself harder to be authentic, which I never thought would be a hard thing. I was always able to be myself, but I have caught that like the older you get, the more natural it feels to be unnatural. The more like in tuned you are with being someone you're not. It's easier, I've come to find, but it's also harder too, because obviously that's not you, you know? I mean just kind of like with like ambition, you know what I mean? Like ever since I was, I want to say 8, I have been making YouTube videos on the internet. Like I've been around for a while, since 2008, whenever Total Drum Island premiered. You know, I've always had this ambition to make films, and I still make movies. Like I'm making movies that are coming out sooner rather than later. As a matter of fact, I wrapped like 2 of them, and I feel nothing. Not excitement, not any kind of pride, just dread for the next project I would have to film. Because of course there's a next project, of course there's another project, of course there's more and more and an infinite amount of them. Because the work is never done, and that's inspiring in a sense, but also very, very, very dreading. Because is that it? Is this my contribution to life? Is there more that I could be providing as a human being? are a lot of questions that just kind of ramble in my mind. When I went to college, like specifically 2019 and even a bit of 2020, that was the most euphoric time of my life. I went from like a kid who was very much on this sheltered side of things to suddenly being thrown into the real world and having a lot of firsts happen to me. My first concert, my first sense of independence, my first sense of relationships, having parties at my own house, being able to leave whenever I wanted, being able to buy whatever I wanted. It was liberating. It was very, very, very awe-inspiring. But now that I've come to find that, like, those news, those, I've now smelled the roses, I've come to find that it's now very, very, very mundane. It's almost hard to appreciate what you already know, especially since you've done it already. Like, you guys can't see it, but I'm currently looking at a photo wall of everything I've done. And part of the reason I built it was because I always wanted a constant reminder that I am accomplishing something, even if it feels small. You know what I mean? Like, I want to feel like that I'm a part of something bigger, but at the same time, too, it also always feels like that there's this giant disconnect. Like, I feel in tune. I feel like I have a lot of friends, but I also feel like at the same point it's hard for me to convey thoughts to them, to convey how I'm feeling without them always getting the wrong idea. Am I making sense with that? But you continue trying, but then there's a point where you also say, no, I don't want to try anymore. I really just want to figure it out myself, because that's just easier. That's the simpler solution, because if no one's going to get you but you, what's the point? But at the same point too, that's unhealthy. You keep trying, you keep trying, you keep trying, and you kind of get how tiring this gets after a while. When you're young, you also kind of expect to kind of tackle this world. I am someone with high ambition. I am someone who truly believes that I am going to be a world famous director one day. That's the goal. That's my goal in life. That's what I'm going to be. How I'm going to get there, or if it's even feasible for me to get there, is a completely different thing. And I hate how there's a negative connotation around the statement, but I mean this when I say it. I'm not inherently talented. I'm really not. I am someone who can pick up a camera and just angle it enough where it looks cool. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell you the settings for the life of me. I couldn't tell you what I'm doing. I couldn't tell you what lens I'm using. I couldn't tell you what the name of the goddamn angle is. I just know what I would like to do. And when I say I'm not inherently talented, I just know that I surround myself with people that are. All the time. All the time. And it always feels like that they're so much more ahead than I am. I feel like I have to work 10 times harder than any of my friends just to do the same thing that they are able to accomplish in, let's say, an hour. And I don't know if that's any fault to me, if that's some form of ADHD or just some form of just absolute lack of ambition. But it's there, and I can tell you that. And that's part of the reason I haven't really been posting as much as I did after 2018. So in 2019, I was posting a lot. And in 2020, I really tried. But after 2020, I would always give myself these excuses oh, it's because of Browers stuff, or it's because I'm working on this, it's because I'm busy. The truth is that I just do not have the mental fortitude to grab my camera, press record, and do it for myself. Because the point in my head is, why? What's the point of me uploading videos? Do I enjoy this? Am I gonna watch this in a year? Do I care? Do I care at the end of the day? It's easier to focus on other people's videos because, well, you don't have that attachment, really. It's not yours. You're a part of it, and you want it to be the best it can be, but you ultimately are just there for somebody else. It's not for you, per se. That's for me to kind of figure out. That's why I'm putting on a camera right now and ultimately telling you this swan song of a sob story, and just because I really want to just say I'm still invested. All these years later, I still want my own brand, my own identity. And I don't know what that is, but I'm not going to just wait around anymore. I need to just grab a camera, place it right there. Fun fact, you're on a lava lamp right now. Place it right there and just go and just record and just try. Because if I don't try, then what's the point? You know, like, why did I start this in the first place? Am I just supposed to be someone's lackey? Or who am I? Who is Shady O'Malley? Who is the guy wearing the beanie? What are my goals? Which is ironically one of my questions. What are my goals? My goals is I want to be a world's greatest director. The step by step, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's just kind of opportunity happens to strike me, and I will take it on the chin and just see where it goes, rather than, I guess, accept that maybe I could make my own opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, I've had plenty of help over the years. Plenty. And a lot of it I've just taken for granted. And the point of me telling you that is because a lot of you guys who are watching this video probably feel the same way. You probably feel like you guys are lost and have all the opportunity in the world to try, but something is stopping you, you know? So you might be asking, okay, that's the problem. What's the solution? What's the hope? What do I do for hope? And the truth is not much. I hope that something comes. But truth be told, is there any reason for hope? Yeah, there is. Every single time there's always reason for hope. You can do something. You can be somebody. Tolkien didn't start writing Lord of the Rings until way into his 50s. Way until his later half of his life. Just because you don't have it figured out today doesn't mean you have to have it figured out tomorrow or this year or whenever. You just have to work for it. Now for the other half of that, it's like, what am I working for? Well, at the moment, you're taking it day by day. Your goal is to get out of bed, brush your teeth, have a good day, relax. Watch that one episode you've been putting off forever. Walking around your apartment complex or your city block or whatever the case may be. Walking that mile just to say, hey, I did that. Or maybe it's a little bit more intense. Like, okay, today's the day I'm gonna start doing 20 push-ups a day. Or today's the day I'm gonna run at least 2 miles a day or something like that. You start small. You start small and you build your way up. Build your way up. For myself, it's a work in progress, man. I think the thing that helps me the most is knowing that I am surrounded by one of the best support systems on earth. I am. All of my friends have been there to help me creatively for as long as I can remember. I feel like they're amazing at that, and I know they would love to hear me on an emotional level. I've just never been good at that. If I'm being honest, I've probably put more of my personal life on the internet over the years, especially throughout the 20 teens, than I've ever told my friends about me personally. Turn the fuck on. In a weird way, I'm okay with that. You know? I know a lot of people might be embarrassed or hesitate at the idea of wanting to put themselves out on the internet like this. But for me, and what I can only say to that is, if this is your release, if this is something that you feel like is going to help you, get over some kind of hill, to journal your thoughts in your own way and share them with somebody, I don't see anything wrong with that either. I know this video might have been just a whole ramble of nothing, really. I can already hear some of my friends being like, oh, you could have edited it like this is... I don't fucking care, dude. I really don't. I'm so sick of people telling me how I should do things that I'm just gonna do it however I want. You know? So if this video doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. But if this video helped you, and I'm glad it did, this was very therapeutic. I'm feeling like I'm learning a lot about myself talking like this. I feel good. Maybe, hopefully, I made one of you guys feel good too. I might do this more often, but we'll see. I don't know. But I will say this. Nobody's going to help you until you accept that you need to help yourself. And this is my step towards that. So, let's see where it takes me. 25. I got videos of me from when I was 20 on this channel. Haven't aged a day. Really hope I don't age when I'm 30. I hope I look exactly like this when I'm 30. Please. Keep me young. Christ. I'm going to head off. And if you listened, thank you for listening. I look forward to talking more about this more in the future, maybe. This is Shady O'Malley with Up Close and Personal. And I'll see you guys in the next one.